to listen from Japheth, who is going to talk about lecturing with greater emphasis on education and technology. We are also going to listen on a presentation talking around competence-based curriculum models in tertiary engineering education, an essential tool for digital teaching, learning in the transformative age. And then we will close off the session by listening to challenges of online facilitation, a quick survey of students' perspectives. So 2 of the presentations are coming from Nigeria, and then the other presentation is being presented by Zimbabwean researchers. So those are the presentations that we are going to have a discussion on. So Japheth, it's your turn now. You may share your screen, and then we'll be able to listen from your side. Screen sharing is allowed, so you need to share your PowerPoint presentation so that we'll be able to follow your discussion. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, we can hardly hear you, so if you can raise the sound, it will be good for everybody.
Okay.
Much better.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to my screen now. I want to share my screen. Hello. Yeah.
Yes, we are waiting.
I'm already sharing it now.
Okay, but nothing is appearing yet. Okay, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're aware of my topic. We're talking of lecturing with greater emphasis. I think you can see now.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I decided to use a video because I was thinking I would be able to present due to some health challenges. So I was able to make the video. Here in the video, a lecturer should do. We've been talking of what the government should do and what the society should do. We're thinking of students, what they should do, and some other people. But I'm coming from another angle, showing what a lecturer can do with little and commitment. What I mean is financial commitment. We all know is not very easy this time around. The lockdown has caused a lot of problems financially, but a lecturer can still do well. From the experience I have, because I want to report my experience, because one thing with the research is you have to report something. Most of the time we spend time reporting the experience of other people, And sometimes when you are affected too, you share your experience. And that is what I'm sharing now. I tried this some years ago using techniques like this. Then there wasn't COVID-19. And I came up with a big success. I still have the records, but that is not part of the presentation now. During question time, I may have reasons to say one or two things about that. Now we can see as a lecturer, there are things we can do. Just as I'm displaying now, those are part of those things I was able to do during this lockdown. We see it's a problem for everybody, really. The government too are not finding it easy to cope. The objective of the presentation goes thus, as you can see. We want to determine what a lecturer can do for productive instruction in COVID-19, making use of free ICT tools in Nigerian university. By extension, it can happen elsewhere. But this is my locality, and this is what I experienced. As we go, you discover that COVID-19 had a lot of problem. Actually, it's a big surprise. People are not expecting it this way, and nobody actually planned for it. It is an era of COVID-19 era is a critical time for Nigerian education, though it has affected other sectors too. But the education was really, really hard hit. It wasn't easy because it came and met the educational sector at different stages, there are some universities, I'm talking of university now, well, some universities that are just starting their semesters. Some of them are like that, and they have to stop even at the very beginning. They have to stop. And then they have some that are the middle of the semester. They have to stop too. At that point, the students have to go home. And there were some at the middle of the semester examination. That's actually happened to my university. We were writing the exams, the examinations then, and we had to stop midway. You can see these are not pleasant experiences, really. Now, and then the university, my university, and believe some other university too, came up with different ad hoc solution. We appeal to social medias, WhatsApp, Telegram, using different ways. Sometimes Google Classroom was common at that time, Zoom, just like very common then, just to make sure that we cope with the situation. Microsoft Team, Canvas, many other elements then they were not planned for, and the Senate of this university just have to do something. And then later, universities are now trying to make elements, for their own university. And then lecturers were trained on how to use these elements, that is learning management system, and in helping the students. But the truth is that it was not easy keeping with this new normal, not really easy. We were, many of us were acquainted with the face-to-face method, and the virtual one was not easy at all. And then we are now looking for how to make the students to benefit from our lectures the way they had been in the normal face-to-face mode of instruction. We know this is strange to the students and strange to us too, and they were not prepared for it, which everybody knew, especially in a part of the world. Then the question comes, which ICT tools do I use now to aid my teaching? Because we were taught the elements, we just taught the basic. And then one thing is that the elements, to use the elements and to make it as productive as expected, you can't just go with the basic use. Even when you have to use every application there, basic application will never work like face-to-face. And so each lecturer will now look for what to do to make the elements interesting, and then for the students to know that they are still in the classroom. Actually, like I said, nobody was ready for the sudden change, and the training offered then were not specific. For instance, I came from the humanities, and the humanities, we know how things are. We were not that in there some areas when it comes to this technology that some of us were not that versed. We all know that that is just normal. But that is not an excuse, really. We just still have to do something. And then one thing is this new normal opens our eyes to what education is. Yeah, I'm not from education. I'm talking of as a faculty now. But we now discover that we need to do something. We're talking of blended learning. That is now that some universities are resuming, and then we still have to use the online aspect. But one thing is this, as I read on a blended learning, that blended learning itself is not automatic. There will always be room for the lecturer or the instructor to determine what he wants to do. And that is unusual. Here I discovered that there are three things, we just flashed it now. There are three things which are very important. Yes, three things. And they are very important. Now, I said the first one, the decision you make is the course content, to blend it, blending the course contents. Which one should be online, which one shouldn't be. That is a decision that the university will not make for the lecturer. And then needed pedagogical skills your students and make them to understand. The university will do that for you. Then they require ICT skills. There's some level of ICT skills you need. University will not give you that. You will need to train yourself. Very, very germane. I had to see how I cope with them on decision for on the methods to use. There are three things there. Number one, you talk of the students themselves. We need to know the students more than we knew in the classroom. I mean, in the normal face-to-face classroom, we need to know their learning styles, because online thing is rigid, and you must build all those things into the teaching. There are some thing you can do in face-to-face classroom that you won't be opportune to do in online, because you don't really see them. Even though you see them virtually, but you don't really see them. Then you will need to know what motivates them to learn. And these are things, these are educational rudiments, but these are things every lecturer should know, which I knew too. And then the method to use, I have to read and discover that we have theories in learning, theories of learning, which you don't just teach now. Now you have to teach with a particular theory and see how you can measure your achievements, at least in view. If you are not going to everything into it, you want to go in view, at least have something as a pattern. Then the current classroom. Now you need to know what you need to do in the current classroom. Their learning style, attitude, and then the methods. Those are major things in education. But leaving education, we now come to technology. I talk of technology. And you see, technology itself is a very wide thing. Talking of ICT now, and then there are things we need to do. Number one, you need to determine what to use, the tools you have to use. You have to determine it. Let me a bit go back. Yes, the tools we have to use, we have to determine that. Sorry. Yes, the tools, you have to determine which tools to use. Number two, you need to see the required internet connectivity. You know, people just say, we just design courses. You need to know, as the lesson, what is the internet connectivity for that lesson. There are some lessons that we just some megabytes, and you need to know that lecturers normally they don't think about that. They just do everything out. But you need to know what is the width on the internet, that particular lesson, because if you want students to be there, you plan them. And then number 3 is electricity. In a part of the world here, we have electricity problem, and we know that. And if you know that, you plan your lesson, you don't just plan it the way to be planned in the US, in the UK. You plan it and make sure that the electricity you have here can take care of your students as well as you yourself. I've heard of people having webinar for 3 hours, and this webinar will not be well attended because people will run out of power, they run out of internet, they are on and off because these were not well planned. The participants were not considered. The situation they are passing through, maybe we are not considered, but as a lecturer to students, we have to take responsibility if we want to be successful. And then these are the clips I did as intro clips. They may not sound very well, but I did all these clips to introduce other lecturers didn't do it. I was perhaps maybe the only one that did it in my university. I introduced my course. Each course, I made a video sometimes of myself. The students will see me. I talk like normal, the way I will talk in the classroom. And I make everything, change the background, to make things interesting for them. And you see, that's what I did. Let me just wait until we are through with the clips. Definitely, you may not hear much because of the software I used. I just did this morning, so I couldn't really do much editing. It took a lot of time to force it down to this stage. I'm just lucky I was able to complete it before. Now, if they coming to the end, because I don't think I'll take much time. Coming to the end, you will see that we are talking of ICT. Why is ICT skill necessary in every field, whether in literature, in any field? Why? You know, we have to, if you want to record anything you want to record, talk of resolution. And many lecturers don't know anything about resolution. Resolution determines whether this thing has to be played on a phone, or played on a laptop, or played on a big media, something like a board. All this thing on a projector screen. You need to know that if you don't consider that, the production will be bad. Then compressing your media. This media now I'm playing is about 90 megabytes. If I want to upload this, I will work on it and I will make sure that it won't be more than 20 megabytes. I will compress it, and that is even large. And then editing the teaching materials. To make teaching material to suit your students, you will need re-editing, video editing, audio editing, your Audacity, different materials that may not be really relevant to your field of study. Then you have access to many educational freewares like OBS, which you use in streaming, whiteboard animations. Actually, this particular video was made by whiteboard animation. I use the whiteboard animation from Mango Animate. You can still see the watermark there. I leave it there because it's going to take time. I think every lecturer may have to do.
If you can wrap up, please.
Hello?
Yes, if you can wrap up.
Hello?
Yes, I'm saying if you can conclude your presentation.
Yes, I think I've concluded now.
Or you have
Let me just
concluded
conclude
now.
to give others opportunity to present as well.
Thank you, Japheth, for your informative presentation on teaching with a greater emphasis on technology. So thank you, Japheth, for your presentation on teaching on with a greater emphasis on technology. It was quite interesting, and we have enjoyed listening to that presentation. So the next presenter in line is Zaki Onyoni and Jennifer. If you are online, may you please come through. Is Jennifer online? Jennifer. Okay, maybe while we are waiting for her to be back or to join or to set herself up, Juliana, are you online? Juliana?
Yes, I'm online.
Yes, so Juliana, you may take this slot. Juliana is presenting on the challenges of online facilitation, a quick survey of the perceptions of students. So you may take the center stage and give us your presentation.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Just to put it in presentation mode.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, all. Good
Morning.
morning.
How are you?
Senior colleagues and colleagues. I'm Juliana Ndonago from National Open University of Nigeria, a staff of Faculty of Sciences. To present challenges of online facilitation, a quick survey of student perspective. We have the table of contents. It's listed there, introduction, problem of statements, and the rest of them. Then we have the introduction. Open and distant learning is learner-centered mode where there is no fixed location or time for learning. It can take place anywhere or at any time, either in the house, at home, while traveling. Like one of us, presented something yesterday while on transit. And because there is little or no physical interaction between teacher and student. ODL includes the use of e-learning or online methodologies to enable multiple forms of interaction and dialogue that can bridge the distance between teachers and learners. The self-paced nature of ODL allows students to fit the work time into their schedule. ODL offers tremendous possibility, flexibility, interactivity, and creativity. National Open University of Nigeria, which is now, it's an open and distant learning institution that has 78 study centers spread across Nigeria with 8 faculties: agriculture, arts, and the rest of them, sciences. There are 8 in number. I belong to Faculty of Sciences, and the case study of this uh, conference or paper is on Faculty of Sciences. And Faculty of Sciences comprised of four departments with 10 different programs. Then this ODL, that's open and distance learning, has challenges according to some authors. One of them is lack of student engagement, that's assignment, seminar, absence of interaction or connectivity among students, lack of meaningful feedback, high class size, academic background of students, feelings of isolation, and work and family. These are problems that were that resulted from many authors on the challenges of online learning. Then online facilitation. Before the COVID, Open and National Open University, let me continue. Online facilitation, according to some authors, affirm that the use of ICT can yield positive results to both facilitators and learners. It is beneficial and germane to every aspect of human endeavor. Online facilitation is the way out for learners as it gives them the opportunity to discuss ideas and experiences during online sessions. This mode of teaching is friendlier than the traditional mode, which everyone is used to, because the moderator is usually liberal, attentive, impartial, patient, and affirmative. Like you can see, the moderator is just there, friendly with everyone. Online facilitation is interesting and fruitful if well moderated. Like the last speaker was, saying something about the instructors, that's the lecturers. They need to be well educated on how to handle online facilitation. If it is well done, it will boost learners' performance because the rate of retention is high, especially the opportunity to record and play back. The online facilitation, after the whole lecture, the recorded version is sent back to the students' platform, which they can also, resort to as they at any convenient time for them. It also leads to increased enrollment when benefactors spread the news of the nice experience they had, the knowledge gained, and having good results to show for it. ODS then rely majorly on the use of ICT tools for online facilitation and other activities that support learning. Then, online facilitation has been introduced to National Open University of Nigeria now since 2018. In West Africa, that's West Africa, Nigeria is one of the countries in West Africa. Now is the only ODL institution, and because of the problems, they came out with these online facilitation, so that in addition to the existing course materials that are available for the students to read on their own, I think the new Vice Chancellor introduced this online facilitation even before COVID. So it was introduced since 2018, and we have been on it. And even during COVID, because we started the new semester before COVID, and even in the midst of COVID, we continued with our lecture because our online facilitation, because we are used to it. I said online facilitation has been introduced to National Open University since 2018 to complement the existing course materials, and the exercise was on before and during COVID, but the following had been observed. The faculty, came out with what can be the problem. We came out with low rate of attendance, no score for engagement, cost of data. And the students of statement of the problem continued. This is just to really explain how we were able to find out that the participation was very low. We can see the 4 departments in computer science, the average percentage attendance was 5.43%. That means 94 points, maybe 57.57 we didn't really participate. Then another department, 1 point something, that means 98 0.15 didn't also participate, and the rest of them. And at the average, we find that 4.83 was the percentage of those that participated. Upon that, the lecturers were involved, nearly all the lecturers were involved. Most of the courses were taught online. So you come to a class, you find yourself with only a class that was registered, maybe you had 297 registered students, and you'll be surprised to have only 24 or 17 in attendance. So it gave us, we were worried, all the lecturers, we were all worried, and we now investigated to see exactly what the problem. Okay, myself, I engaged myself into finding out what could be the problem. And we have objective of the study to investigate the challenges of online facilitation in Faculty of Sciences, to find an insight on learners' perspective about the new method of teaching. And literature review, because in the online facilitation, we made use of asynchronous and synchronous. In open and distant e-learning environment, learning takes place in both asynchronous and synchronous methods. Asynchronous learning method is an environment where the learners and instructors do not meet in real time. Resources and activities which are assessed on an individual basis. Course resources are available on the LMS platform. Discussion forum and instructional videos, and 80% of online course learning is entirely on asynchronous learning method. Asynchronous learning is more flexible than synchronous learning because self-paced systems require students to be self-disciplined, remain active on their studies, avoid distractions, and develop strategies in order to remain it's up to 80%, while it's 20%. The synchronous learning is a type of teaching and learning whereby students participate in face-to-face classes using technology such as web conferencing and the rest of them, according to some authors. This method offers students with wide range of educational opportunities and deeper learning experience. Learners and instructors interact and participate in real time, virtually interacting with students interacting with one another at a specific time. Examples include a live stream lecture, live guest speaker, webinar, video conferencing, and live chat. Then this is just a table on the cost of data in Nigeria. We have for 50 hours for Zoom, 5,000 for 14 days, and the rest of them. Then we have 5-stage model, because for us to have an effective online learning to be effective and successful, participants need to be supported through a structured developmental process, like the last presenter also stressed. The 5-stage model provides a framework for a structured and well-paced program of activity. The 5-stage model offers essential support and development to participate at each stage as they build expertise in learning online. This was by one Professor Salmore, 2013. He has the 5-stage model with as access and modification. Another one is online socialization, information exchange, knowledge construction, development, and you have the sub activities, below each main section. And if these things are done well, then there is no way the students will not. There is no way the online facilitation will not be effective. That this thing has to be observed according to the Professor Salmon, 2013. Then, in a bid to get the actual problem of while we had low participation in online facilitation, I leveraged on this method, sludo.com, but before then, a quick survey was employed for this study to seek the view of Faculty of Sciences students for 2021 _ online facilitation. This is our term for first semester of a session. That's, we say 2020 _1. If I say _2, that means second semester. These are the terms we use in open and distance learning or in National Open University of Nigeria. So a survey design is most appropriate when seeking information about opinions, attitudes, and behaviors of individuals in a population. The target population were Faculty of Sciences, because when we were online, when we were having facilitation with them, we had all their mails, so that when you have a class, you always inform them in time by sending mails, reminding them that there will be a lecture. So I now leverage on that to send them this question using sludo.com, and also employ, ask some of my colleagues in the same faculty also to send to their students. And at the end of the day, okay, the target population were Faculty of Sciences students of about 7,868 students. Sludo.com was employed, and the survey was on, that's active for 7 days, and 189 students participated. Sludo can assist one gain valuable insight about one's audience. And the analysis, we have the engagement score, the summation of question plus summation of likes, the Sludo. This was the formula, the theory it's used in calculating the outcome of the survey. And we have calculation. The calculation was done, and again, this is the results. The result was a high cost of data, conflicting. The high cost of data was 71%, conflicting schedule 23%, lack of interest 8%, no access to device, that's smartphones or laptop 26%, no electricity. Which of this do you think is this was just scanned from the scan from where the results are. So then the discussion, the results revealed that the students of Faculty of Sciences are very much interested in online facilitation, because the interest gave us 8%, and that means lack of interest gave us 8%. That means 92% were interested. So though this is accepted by many of the students, that's the new method of teaching was accepted by many of the students, and they are interested. Most of them are limited by finances, connectivity, irregular power supply, which is peculiar to Nigeria, that's my country. This revelation is in line with APENA 2019. That learners have great interest in online facilitate it lively and sociable, and learners participating. Also, FAN 2019 affirmed that online learning has failed to reduce cost. He explained that online learning has falling short of expectation, improving to be less expensive to traditional mode. I had, limitations. One of them was Ludo.com, the methodology, limitation were on the methodology used. Ludo.com can, could only absorb, one question at a time. And this affected the number of questions that would have been asked the participants, such as the gender, the age, status of employment, and the rest of them. Another one was the time, which was also a limitation. It has it that it could only be there active for 7 days. It's also affected, I believe it's also affected the number of students that participated. Another one was poor connectivity as a result of network in Nigeria. Then conclusion, from the student perspectives, online facilitation is an interesting and welcome idea that is challenged by the high cost of data. That's from the results. Another one is connectivity issues. From research, students' active participation is a key to successful online facilitation. Recommendation, this study recommends the following: that a reward system should be introduced to motivate students for online engagement in order to justify efforts of the learners and the facilitators. Because, as a lecturer, you feel you're supposed to have 200 and something students linked for your lecture and you have only 17. It's discouraging. Another one is the management of NOW, that's National Open University of Nigeria, should negotiate with telecommunication agencies on cost of data reduction to enable students and staff key into the online learning system. The references used for the study. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Juliana, for your insightful presentation on online facilitation, a quick survey from the students' perspectives. I don't seem to see the other two presenters that were supposed to be presenting in this session. So what it means is now we need to engage in a discussion based on the two presentations that was done. The one done by Japhet, teaching with a greater emphasis using technology, and then the one done by Juliana. If there are any questions directed to these two presenters, please come through and let us make a discussion around that. Maybe while people are trying to put their thoughts together, Japhet, what is the nature of your study? Is it empirical? Is it conceptual? Any questions for the presenters? Any questions? So my first question was directed to Japhet, trying to understand what was the nature of your study. Is it a conceptual paper? Is it an empirical paper? Maybe Japhet is lost. Juliana, how did you analyze the data you collected?
I had an automatic, that's a Sludo, analyzed, it was automatic, from Sludo.
Yeah, but it's automatic. What does it do? What does it generate? Does it generate simply descriptive issues, or it generates a number of things?
It was, from the results the survey gave, I was able to deduce the students' perspective on the new method of teaching.
Okay, yeah, I hear you, but I wanted to find out more, like, how did you just arrive at the conclusion that it's the cost of data that students says it's one of the key challenges of online facilitation? Because what I saw there was some kind of
From the
descriptive.
analysis,
Yes.
the analysis, you can see the 71%, which was the highest. It shows that the high cost of data was, partly responsible for the students' non-participation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear that, but I was looking forward to some kind of more rigorous analysis of the data, so that we also make meaningful inferences than simply saying people said. I'm not sure what was the nature of the questions that were used in the measuring instrument or in the survey. Um, Another question coming out here is, what are the challenges of rolling out e-learning methods in Nigeria? If you can respond to that, what are the challenges of rolling out e-learning methods in Nigeria?
Yeah, but I think that's what my work is all about. That's, I think, generally the lecturers don't have much problem, because for the e-learning, the lecturers, at least they are paid. They can buy data, though it's expensive, and but the students, some of them are not working, and some of them are from poor background, and they are unable to. They are interested. They want to participate, but they don't have data. Data is not free. So that is the challenge of especially the students. I'm concerned about the students, because lecturers are on salary, so they have, at least they can buy their data and use it the way they want. But for students, they are interested, but because they don't have the money, or they are limited financially. So that is the only problem. If not, they want it. They are interested. And it has a lot of benefits or advantages. But for the financial aspect, so but that was what I was saying. If the university, because in National Open University, we have over 500,000 students. So if for this online facilitation to be very effective, students must participate. There must be engagement. Students must be engaged, because if they are not engaged, giving assignments and giving score to their assignments, they will not bother, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really count. But because ODL is flexible, but that flexibility, something can still be done to make it effective. So that is what I have to say for this. Again, in Nigeria, even the House of Assembly, they engaged the communication experts, companies, for them to come down with the down. So
I think you were breaking, so we couldn't pick that up.
Okay, I said the House of Assembly in Nigeria invited the owners of telecommunication, asking them to reduce the cost of data. They said no, that Nigerians increase their tax, and so they cannot come down. So that means the high cost is still there, and it's a big challenge for both staff and that students, staff are paid. Like in National Open University, we are paid a token for engaging in.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other issues? I have one presenter who is saying they are trying to log in. Maybe as soon as they come, we're going to give them a few minutes to do that so we can have some more discussion. If there are other issues, can we highlight them and we talk about them? I still feel that maybe more data analysis could be done in your paper.
It's okay. I'll try.
Yeah, more because I think it will add up to, to the quality and the contribution of the study, beyond knowing all those descriptives that you would have, that you have presented. I think adding more analysis and more flesh to that could be very, very good, so that we arrive at good conclusions. I think.
Sorry.
Yes.
Juliana, I just want to find out, could it be a solution like the data bundles in the school fees of the students? Maybe that way they can always provide internet service for the students, so they can always engage. Is it possible?
Hello, I can't hear you. Or I didn't hear you.
Anthony, may you repeat what you have said?
Okay, Juliana, I said, is it possible that as a challenge, because students are facing challenges, is it possible that these data bundles can be included in their school fees? That way it solves this problem. The university meets the students halfway by also contributing to the data, so that the students can participate in online learning.
I didn't hear you.
Did you hear that? I think maybe there's connection.
I think I will just type it and maybe she can respond in the chat.
Yeah, maybe. I don't seem to see this presenter. Maybe let me let Admire talk more about the book we are trying to work on, and what we would expect maybe people to do in a coming few days once everything else is sorted. And if the presenter doesn't come in, then I'll ask Elena to give us some closing remarks. Dr. Maria, are you there?
Thank you so much, Dr. Warrior. Thank you. Thank you for this panel that we've just concluded. I'm saying this hoping that the other presenter is not going to be able to make it. But if he or she does, then obviously we are going to give him the opportunity to present. Then in terms of the book project that essentially that we're working on, I think in the next few weeks or so, we are going to reach out again to all our presenters to send us not full papers per se, but abstracts that would be between 250 to 300 words. But I think these abstracts must also take on board some of the comments that you have actually received from this session, and also make sure that you tighten up the loose ends where you feel that you need to add a few more issues. And the other issue is to say that we are already working with established publishers. Here we are talking about Palgrave, Macmillan, and Routledge. So we'll decide which one to go with. But we will also try and extend this call for papers to others that we also not able to make it for this particular conference, so that at the end of the day we have a book that represents all the 4 regions in Africa. So certainly we are expecting a good representation from Southern Africa. Equally, so we are also expecting representation from East Africa, West Africa, and also partly North Africa. Despite the fact that sometimes we often speak in our own regional cocoons, and we don't even speak across these language barriers, and also colonially induced boundaries that we have. So I think the book will try and make sure that we have a conversation around the impact of COVID, and also for the 4th industrial revolution on higher education in Africa. And we'll certainly try and make sure that the manuscript that are going to make it in that book certainly are able to capture the nuances, and also the most important issues that are coming out. And certainly I think some of the papers that have been presented on this particular platform captures the essence of that book project that we are working on with Palgrave Macmillan and Routledge publishers. Certainly I would have wanted a situation probably where we work with our own university press publishers, but I also understand that right now they are also going through a lot of problems because of the pressure that that comes with actually receiving a lot of submissions, especially during this time like a pandemic, where there are so many book projects that are floating in the air. So certainly I think we have chosen to go with those internationally acclaimed publishers for the simple reason that more often times than not, they allow us to reach other continents that we can't reach if we focus on our own local university presses that often publishes for local consumption rather than for global consumption. So that certainly was a major issue that led us to think about focusing on those international publishers. And then probably the other issue that I just want to say is that once we are done with reviewing the abstracts that we are talking about, then we will let you know when we expect a fully fledged chapter for this particular book. But certainly I think it should be anytime early next year, certainly, that we expect you to be able to send us your full chapter, so that we can then start rolling out the whole editing and also our review process. Given that oftentimes we need at least 12 months or so to process a book, unlike probably a journal article that takes a few or so months to process. So certainly we'll come back to you, and we will certainly let you know about the guidelines in terms of what we expect, the referencing style, and also expectations in terms of the number of words that the chapter must be able to have. We'll certainly come back and speak to you in due course in terms of what we intend to achieve. But be that as it may, I think if the presenter who is supposed to come on board is already there, I think we can allow them to take over. But if they are not there, then I think what's left for me probably is to hand back to Dr. Woyo or Dr. Amadila to probably give a few final remarks, certainly of what has been a very fascinating and interesting conference, where we have heard different views in terms of how our higher education institutions appropriate technology. Over to you, Dr. Amadila.
The presenter is not yet here, so I think Dr. Amadila, if you can come through with some closing remarks, key reflections about the conference deliberations, so that we will be able to.
You submitted everything on that, colleagues. Did you see? Yeah. Quickly, I would really just like to thank everyone for the engaging discussions and presentations, for the
for yesterday and today as well. We've all experienced and what we are going through right now. Of course, it's an unprecedented situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, a virus that is not visible to the naked eye, but has put the world on pause. But the discussions we've had here are really a sign that what we have gone through so far maybe is just the tip of the iceberg, and there may be many shifts this pandemic will trigger in terms of the socioeconomic fallouts and so much more, given the findings from the papers that we have just seen, that there's much more that we really need to really think about. So we know already that the least developed countries, particularly those in Africa, will feel the impact of the pandemic more, and it's up to us as researchers to try to find ways to cope during this time. I really look forward to receiving papers to contribute towards the book that Dr. Murray talked about earlier. And yeah, I wish you all the very best. I think with those very few remarks, I just want to really, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank everyone, especially my co-host as well, Dr. Woyo, Dr. Murray. This wouldn't have been possible, honestly, without you, especially now this workload is just too much, but working with you as a team, this was made really possible. I thank everyone, the presenters. If it wasn't for you as well, this wouldn't have been possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the closing remarks. I have seen some emails in the chats. I will save them and circulate whatever communication we are going to make. I hope this is the start of something big, and we'll continue to network together. We'll continue to write together. We'll continue to engage Sisanda on interesting methodological issues and many other aspects that dominated the discussion. So I think from our side as the organizers of the conference, we thank you very much, like it has been said, and there have been no other issues to discuss in this conference. We wish everybody well in their research journey, in their academic careers. So it's bye-bye for now from us as conference organizers. We hope to meet again next year in another conference discussing something totally different. Our idea is to continue linking academics together as we go forward. So thank you very much. It's bye-bye for now. Bye, everybody. We continue to network. We continue to talk. Bye.
Hello, Doc.